Good afternoon, you beautiful people. It's Stephen here on a very, very, very sunny and sweltery Wednesday afternoon. It's 26th of June. Manchester City, of course, are linked to a whole bunch of players. Belgium will be playing Ukraine in about 25 minutes' time as well. We'll be watching KDB and Jeremy Doku do their thing over live on TiVo. I want you to come join me for that if you don't mind. It'd be massively appreciated. Click the link in the description to sign up to TiVo. It's absolutely free. Use the referral code Stephen in capital letters. Stephen with a V, so STEVEN. Join me then for that. In like 20 minutes from now, I'll be chatting all things Man City, and of course, watch over Zinchenko, De Bruyne, Doku. Hopefully for another De Bruyne masterclass. He was brilliant in the last game. But this is your daily dose of Manchester City news. You've got it in the chat there, Leroy Sané. It really is. This is where we go through all the rumours and sort of try and break them down a little bit and get a sort of a reasonable look and read on what is going on. It looks like the internet's been a bit poor. I apologise. I don't know why it's been a bit poor. Fingers crossed it'll pick up very, very soon. But I don't know why it is. Sorry about that. But yeah, it is hot today. UW swelteringly hot. Once again, my greenhouse of an office is not a nice place to be in. I get in and I get out because it's just too warm on days like today. But anyway, guys, please do me a massive favour, give the video a like, subscribe, follow all the stuff down there if you want to. It's massively appreciated. And people like UW's on the way to 4 years. Thank you so much, mate. You give me my dream job, and I love you absolutely loads. UW's a member for 44 months. You're a legend, mate. Thank you so much. I'd love to have a pint with you one day to say thank you. It's all I can do. It's all I can offer. But one day it'd be great. So, let's go to the first bit of news. It's about Dani Olmo. Now, according to... Let me just find the bloody rumour. I saw it earlier on Twitter. I've not got my actual tweets up ready for that, as I usually do. Now, this has come via Martinez Ferran. So I'll go over to Manchester Iconic on Twitter. It says Man City have accelerated negotiations and seek to close the signing of Dani Olmo from RB Leipzig this week. The 60 million release clause expires on July the 15th. And this is from Ferran Martinez. Periodista, I presume he's journalist, I guess in Spanish. I don't know. Mundo Deportivo. Also for Spanish Football Federation. I think he does stuff for them. Yeah, he's a proper journalist by the looks of it. I'll go over to my website. You've got a little bit of stuff... a bit more colour there. Now, according to the reports, Ferran Martinez has reported for Mundo Deportivo that Man City have accelerated negotiations for Dani Olmo. Martinez also reports that the 60 million release clause in Olmo's current contract with Leipzig expires on July the 15th. And apparently the likes of Bayern, Liverpool and Barca are all looking into potentially signing him. I do know what I know what you guys think about this. I don't know if he's necessary as such, unless anyone leaves. I actually go against popular opinion where people play down Olmo. I think Olmo's a pretty good player. I think he's a good player. I'm not going to say him and tell he's a brilliant one, but I think he's got an awful lot of ability, and I would not be against him in a Manchester City shirt. But I feel like someone's got to leave, man. Someone's got to leave to see that happen. And he does get injuries. He does, Beppe. Absolutely, you know? We can't ignore that. Injury prone is a concern. But I think he's a good player. That's the only thing. I do think he's a good player. I think he's technically much better than people give him credit for. He's the kind of guy that could go from be very good to absolutely brilliant under Guardiola. But I don't know how much is in this. The only thing I would say is that release clause must be tempting. But when you think about the options we've currently got, you know, we've got Nunes, Kovacic, Rodri, sort of central. You've got, of course, Phil, De Bruyne. You've got Jack Grealish. You've got Alvarez can play there as well. You've got Savio potentially coming to Bernardo Silva. I don't really see where he fits in currently. I don't really see that. I feel like there's going to have to be a bit of a clear out for that to become a reality. Like, to me, it's just not something that I expect. Like, I could be wrong, man. I could be wrong. And I do think he's a smart footballer. I think he's got a lot of ability. I really do. And I think he would be a decent signing. But it just doesn't feel one that I feel happens without something else happening. That is the thing for me. I'm expecting, City to be reasonably cautious in the transfer market this summer. You know, they are always pretty cautious, but right now in particular, they are seemingly reactive. So maybe they know something that we don't. Maybe one of the players is considering leaving. I don't see it. Bernardo seems like he's going to stay. Jack's not going anywhere. Doku's not going anywhere. Then you look around. Kovacic, maybe, but he's not the same position. I don't know, guys. I don't know what it'd be here. But I wouldn't mind him. I think he's a good player. I think he's very good, and I think he'd get better under Guardiola. I really believe that. I think players have to be of a certain level of technical ability and intelligence, and then I believe they can achieve whatever they want at that point under City. You don't have to share that, you don't have to share that view, but I sort of think it's true, I think it's true. So, that's where we're at with Dani Olmo. Do you want him? Would you want him in the chat if someone left? Do let me know. I would appreciate your thoughts. Give the video a like if you want Dani Olmo. Give the video a like if you don't want Dani Olmo. Win-win for everyone there. So that's the Dani Olmo rumours. I'll file that down as a 5 out of 10. I mean, it's pretty... Ferran Martins has gone pretty big on it, saying that we're accelerating negotiations. It could be done this week. I mean, the only thing I would say is that Olmo would sign. Yeah, absolutely would sign. He'd sign in a heartbeat if City came for him and they activate that release clause. I really believe that. I mean, you might consider Bayern, Liverpool, Barca if they did it, but I don't think so. So I think he's a very much a. He also reminds me of the kind of player that would be linked to forever that would never actually sign. Like there's always players like that where. United were linked to like Schneider for years, weren't they? And we were linked to Isco for years. Olmo seems cut from a very similar cloth there, where you're going to be linked to him forever, and we'll see how it goes. Versatile player, good on the left, can play central, can play on the right. But is he what we need? I don't know. I'm on the fence. A little bit of news which I've not got to on that we broke as I was going live, preparing to go live anyway. I broke an hour ago. But Phil's actually gone home from the Euros. He's flown home to be present for the birth of his third child and expected to be back with the England squad at Sunday for the Euro 2024. Congratulations, man. Fingers crossed everything goes wonderful and smoothly. A dad of a third kid already at his age. I respect that massively. I've got one and I'm absolutely beyond exhausted. I don't know how people manage 3 or 4 kids. You're absolute legends, people who manage that. But Phil... One of them's got to play for City one day, I think he got 2 little boys. I hope he gets a little girl. It'd be nice for him and his family, I'm sure he wants a little girl. I'm here, Linny. You can't see me, man. The connection seems fine as far as I'm aware. I'm all here. I'm good. If you're struggling with the internet, I apologise. I think it's been a bit up and down, but I should be here still. But yeah, Phil, there's a lovely little bit of news there for him, and it's always good news. I feel it crazy that footballers have got a job where he's got to go back to work when he's going to have a newborn, You think he could be there for a couple of weeks and, you'd think he'd just want to be... He'd want to be, back at home with a newborn. But I guess, it is life as a footballer. I couldn't do it. I'd be like, no, I'm staying there. I'm not judging him, by the way, but... No, I'd want to be there in the first few weeks. But he's done it twice, so maybe the novelty's gone anyway. And the baby, if I'm being honest, he'll have support. The baby's just going to lie there and do nothing. Elsewhere, we were linked to a keeper that I do not know a lot about. But I've got something to say about this. Where's it gone? So this is from over... Oh, it's the extra here. We've apparently, according to reports from Italy, had a bid for Lazio keeper Christos Mandas. Don't know much about him. I'll do a Google search on this fella so we can have a read about him together. But I'm not going to sit here and pretend. Because I don't do this on this channel. I won't pretend that I know anything about Christos Mandas. He is not a name I'm familiar with. Let me just type this up in Google and get his name up. Here we go. Christos Mandas is, for one, great name. He's a 20-year-old Greek keeper who signed for Lazio. He's only played a few games, which is interesting. So he's not like he's only played 12 games. And City are allegedly interested in him. I guess that would be as a backup, potentially. I don't know if there's anything in this. I don't know. It's so weirdly specific that I do wonder if it's opportunism from a journalist. But I also do wonder if there's something potentially there. We've been linked to a whole bunch of keepers, as this article says here. McInerney, Diogo Costa, Michael Zeta of Werder Bremen, and Sunderland's Anthony Patterson. A whole bunch of keepers. And I do... When things like this happen, I do wonder if it's based in reality. Not that it will be nailed on to happen, but I do wonder if sometimes City are sort of going around testing the waters and seeing who potentially be available if Ederson was to move on as a backup keeper. So when you see these names you never really heard of in City before, sometimes I think they're reasonably well sourced. I do feel... Linny, it's just you. I mean, people are watching absolutely fine. Maybe paused it by accident, Linny. I don't know, but it's working fine for me, Linny. Linny in the chat there. But I do sometimes wonder if, if it's one of those things where you've got like City kind of casting their net far and wide for someone to go in the net. It's one of those things where I'm not sure. Great name, Turbo Virgin in the chat said there's been links to this keeper for a little bit now. Okay, I've not noticed them, mate, so I wasn't sure about that. Apparently, we made an opening offer of $2 million loan fee with an obligation to buy for around $10 million. He must be a really hot prospect then, and potentially coming as a backup to Ortega if Ederson wanted to go. I don't know, man. Maybe there's something in this. Maybe it's. I feel like this would be the signing that we'd make if we thought Ederson would go. I don't know everything about him, but I think this is one to pay a reasonable amount of attention. I think he's a good player. If City are linked to him, probably. I think he's obviously got potential. He's young. I presume he can play that way that City want him to play. And I think this is one of those guys who's on a list, And if you still keep talking about Alvarez's red hot form, is he scoring lows? I mean, yeah. Well, happy for him, man. Yeah, he's doing really well. I mean, he always does well for Argentina, doesn't he? And I'm not worried about benching him for Man City. I think largely it's one of those things where, look, we've got Haaland, we've got De Bruyne, we've got Foden. It is what it is. Alvarez is Argentina's best striker right now. It works so well with those around him, but we don't need him to start, so we will see. Elsewhere, there's a little bit of Joshua Kimmich news. I like this news because I like Joshua Kimmich. I think Joshua Kimmich is a really good player. A lot of people were telling me that Joshua Kimmich was sort of a spent force. And, it's one of those things where, he wasn't going to get any better. He's getting older. He's slow and all this kind of stuff. And I don't know what you've been watching, but what I see at the Euros anyway, at least, is Joshua Kimmich has been creating more chances than anyone, I think, in the first couple of games. He's been absolutely excellent. He's been so good, Kimich. I really like him. I think he's a smart player. And I wouldn't suggest you spend 40 million on anything like that. But, 20 to 30 million, like Kovacic, a really smart signing. A guy you can play in a bunch of positions. You can play right back. You can probably play centre back in a stretch. He wouldn't ever play there, but you know what I'm getting at. Play DM as well. To me, Kimich as a backup, I like the potential of this. I think Kimich is a really smart player. And I would take him in a heartbeat. Now, this comes from a really, really, really connected journalist. He comes from Florian Plettenberg, who's a Sky reporter, moderator, whatever it means. Does a transfer update for Bayern and transfer news. And the rumours are, let me find his tweet about it. Where are we going? All I say to Thingy, by the way, to Bayern is such a mad signing. So where have we gone? Do you know what? I'll go back to the aggregators. So here we go. So Josh Kimmich could leave. Be confirmed. Kompany wants Joao Paulina. A separation between the two clubs, between Kimich and Bayern, is getting closer. It's now or next year, the latest. Kimich will be ready to go into final year's contract. He only wants to join City, Liverpool, Arsenal, Madrid, and Barcelona. I really do believe. I mean, he's the captain. He's a regular starter. I really do believe. City would be in for him. I mean, the choice there, someone asked me in the chat, Linny said, would it be Kimich or Bruno? Look, it'd be Bruno G. Absolutely. He's younger. He's more right. But I would take Kimich in a heartbeat. I think he's such a smart footballer. I think his form hasn't been wonderful for Bayern, but I do think under Guardiola, a man that he trusts and knows, Pep is the best in the world at focusing players. I was thinking about Pep last night in terms of what he brings and about how much of management is about honesty, about motivation, and how he talks to the player and how he tells players what they're good at and what they need to improve on. And I think Kimich is the kind of player that under Guardiola, give him good instructions and he'll execute them so well because he has the brain for it. And I really like the idea of someone like Kimich. He's like, I mean, obviously I would love Bruno G. I think he's a brilliant player. I like him because he's younger and I think he adds an immediate bit of quality to our team. But I think Kimich absolutely would bring experience. He'd bring variety to this Manchester City side. I really rate him. I hope this is true personally. I mean, Arsenal would be interested, wouldn't it? I mean, they've got Ben White. He'd probably play alongside Declan Rice potentially. Jorginho, Thomas Partey. I don't know where they play. I think he's more crying out for Man City. But I wouldn't blame him if he wanted to live in London at the same time. So, yeah, I don't know. Kimich, for me, I think there's something in this. I do think he'd be tempted by Manchester City if that offer came in. And I think there's something in it massively. Partey might be leaving Arsenal this summer. I don't think Barca are going for him. Don't think Real Madrid would either. Liverpool, no. I don't know what Liverpool are going to be anymore. Like, Liverpool are a weird one. Like, I don't feel confident that they're going to be at the same level as they were under Klopp. I think you got to look at the likes of Trent, Salah, Van Dijk. I think they'll all be gone in 12 to 24 months. Arne Slot, is he Jurgen Klopp? Is he that level? I don't know if he is. Klopp is such a unique, ferocious challenger where when you've got a title race, like, he gets his team going so well. And I wouldn't be surprised at all if Slot really struggles to keep them there. So I don't really feel Liverpool could be in the conversation in 3 or 4 years' time. I might be wrong, but I don't know. Yeah, you are right, Alternative. He's on, 370k euros is about, what is that? In about 300k, is it? But he would get that, Man City. He would get it. I think City would give him around 300k. Not 375, but around 300k. Because he's Kimich, and he'd be on a 2 or 3 room, and he's a Bayern captain. Do you not be surprised, by the way? And apparently there are still links to... There's still links to Thingy as well. What's it called? Kyle Walker to Bayern. So I would not be surprised if you see some sort of swap there. That's not going to happen. You'll stay. But there are links there. They're still reasonably interested, apparently. Wouldn't surprise to see Vinny going in. But I agree. I agree the wages would be deserved. He's an absolute legend of the past 10, 15 years. He's, a Champions League winner. He's been brilliant. Yeah, he brings versatility. I think he would be deserved, and I'd have no problem with Man City paying that for him. I know some people wouldn't like it, but to me, I think Kimich... Oh, just banged my elbow. Oh, that's not funny. But I think Kimich is the kind of player that would warrant it entirely. So, yeah, absolutely. I would take that in a heartbeat. Let me know in the chat if you would. I'm so sweaty on this, so sweaty. I haven't talked about England yesterday, by the way. Obviously, you cut my watch along on Tifo. I was fuming. Absolutely terrible. So bad. So many players not playing well. Bellingham useless. Phil, not his best game, but probably England's best attacker, I would argue. And of course, they're through now. I am sort of wishing that they were out to an extent, so that these lads are going home and getting a bit of a rest. But I suspect they'll be out on Sunday anyway. Then they'll get a bit of a rest for the month of July, hopefully. But anyway. I saw some rumours about James McAtee. He's already back at the CFA, apparently, McAtee. He's in training. Another loan is probably unlikely. I think City could ask for a big fee. There's rumours that we could ask for around 20 million. And I think someone would take the punt on that. I mean, I really love James. I think he's a cracking player. But I don't see him getting that break at Manchester City, unfortunately. I mean, if I was him, I would have hung around last year. I would have said, no, I'm staying about and tried to get in. I think Oscar Bob got his chances. We will see. I'm looking forward to the Belgian game, by the way. I will be once again live over on Tifa. Come and join me for the watch along. There we go. You can see it there. Join me live in about 2-3 minutes time. Ukraine versus Belgium. It should be fun. Sign up with the link in the description below. Use the referral code Stephen. If you don't get the email through as you sign up, check your spam folder and all the usual stuff. But it's free to sign up, and I'll be chatting to you. And you can also join me for a video call if you want to and chat all things Manchester City. For now, though, I am struggling in this heat. I'll catch you in a bit. Thanks for watching. Give the video a like, subscribe. My prediction for the Belgian game: Belgium 2-0. In a bit. Bye-bye.